So when we talk about fractions, we can use our circle model, and we can talk about a part to whole ratio. So the numerator represents the part, so we have one part, and the denominator represents the number of pieces that make up the whole. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, as I change the denominator, you can see that as I change the denominator, the number of pieces that make up the whole changes. Okay, the number of parts stay the same, okay, but the number of pieces that make up the whole changes. As I change the numerator, I increase the number of parts that I'm counting. Okay, that's the number of pieces that make up the whole does not change. And we could do the same with this rectangular model. As I change the denominator, I change the number of parts that make up the whole. As I change the numerator, I change the number of pieces that make up the parts. Okay, so this part to whole ratio is this fraction. So I have 6 parts to 12 parts whole, and that looks like half of the rectangle or half of the circle filled in. We could also think of this as the number of pieces on top, the size of pieces on bottom. So notice that as I change the bottom, okay, so let's go down here. As I change the bottom, look at the size of the slices. The size of the slices change. And as I make the denominator bigger, the size of the slices get smaller. Okay, so as I make the denominator smaller, the size of the pieces get bigger. Okay, so I have bigger pieces, so a 1/2, 2 in the denominator means a 1/2 slice. It means that's the size of each of the slices. Okay, the 1/3, the 3 in the bottom says I have 3 slices that make up the whole, or a 1/3 slice, which is smaller than a 1/2 slice. The number in the numerator just counts how many little slices I have. Okay, so we can see that this part to whole ratio works. We can see that the number of slices and the size of slices is also a good way to think of what is a fraction.